The movie starts with a school bus returning from a trip where Luis is searching for his lost shoe on the bus. The students' noise makes the principal burst into anger, and he orders them to shut up. But as he gets back to his seat, they start making noise again. At the same time, Luis's friend Jennifer asks him to rate the recent school trip for the school survey. However, he doesn't answer the question and wants to know where his shoe is, yet Marlon shows up with his shoe and messes around with him until Marlon hits Patty, who is Jennifer's camera woman, which makes the camera fall off from the bus window. When they arrive at the school, Marlon's mother is mad at him as he isn't dressed properly, and Luis now seems to be in love with Jennifer. But at that moment, the principal approaches him saying his father forgot to pick him up again. However, Luis tells him that his father is just very busy. As the principal sees his bike wheel fracture, he offers to take Luis home, but Luis refuses, as it's not a problem for him. While riding home, the ice cream seller yells at Luis that his bike looks like it belongs on a scrap heap, and he says he is getting a new one on his birthday tomorrow. When he makes it home, Marlon's father criticizes the state of his house as it is a disgrace, and all his neighbors are sick of it. When Luis sees his father sleeping on the couch, he tries to walk slowly as he doesn't want to wake him up, yet he still trips over the stack of radios, which wakes his father immediately. His father Armin is glad to see him back home as he has been gone for 4 days. Luis then cleans up his house and makes breakfast for his dad. He tells his dad that he has baked a raisin cake for his birthday tomorrow, which his mom used to make, also informing him that their electricity will be cut off if Armin doesn't pay the bill. But Armin doesn't even care about what Luis says, as he is concentrated on his work to find intelligent life. Seeing Luis upset, Armin comforts him immediately and tells him a story that long ago when he was 7, he encountered a real alien here on Earth, and it tried to abduct him, yet he escaped. However, Luis has heard this story 1,000 times from his dad. While Luis prepares for his birthday, he gets excited when he sees Armin has a big surprise for him, but it turns out to be just pattern irregularities in the ambient noise from last night, which Armin recorded successfully. He assumes that there are UFOs in their solar system. Immediately, Armin is shocked to see aliens in his yard and rushes to capture them. He then announces to his neighbors to let them hide in their house as aliens have landed on Earth. Soon he realizes that it's just his neighbor disguised as aliens. They all blame Armin as he always interrupts them, and they pity Luis for having Armin as his father. In space, a group of aliens travels to learn about the Earth, and the trio, who names themselves Wabo, Nog, and Mog, are interested in a massage mat that is on sale on Earth. When they hear that there are only 279 of these massage mats, Wabo and Mog immediately prepare their ride to get that item before they run out. However, Nag tells them they are not supposed to go to Earth as it could be dangerous, and their captain has forbidden anyone to visit that planet, but Wabo and Mog don't even listen to him. Nag doesn't have a choice, so he decides to go with them. At school, Luis practices his riz to offer his cake to Jennifer, yet Marlon bullies him once again, stealing and eating all of Luis's cake. Jennifer informs Luis about the latest webcast on the school news site. Luis asks if she has any story in it yet, but she has none. He encourages her that she will have a big story next time. However, she says that the school only allows her to do surveys because certain editors at the school news network are incapable of recognizing her talent. After Jennifer leaves, the principal approaches Luis to let him know that he will be moving to live with Miss Deacondocker, who is the headmistress of Sunny Day's home. This is because one of Luis's neighbors reported the substandard conditions that he is forced to live in. The principal allows Luis to get his father to the office this afternoon, but Armin falls deep into sleep and is unable to wake up. At that moment, Luis goes to see the alien detector tool, which blares out when it captures an alien signal. Luis is shocked to see a UFO flying in front of his yard. The aliens show up there because they get the signal from Armin's house, and they think this might be where they can get the massage mat. As Wabo insults Mog by calling him a butthead, Mog teaches him a lesson, and they soon crash their UFO onto the land. Seeing all of this, Luis realizes his father is right about aliens. However, the aliens recognize Luis immediately after he steps on the wood and threaten to obliterate him. Wabo tells Luis that they are here to get a massage mat and ask for the location of Jill, who is the seller, if Luis knows where she is. Luis doesn't expect them to act nice to him like this, as his father says aliens are dangerous creatures. Luis then brings their spaceship to hide in his father's barn, and they owe Luis for helping them out. Luis wonders if they fly through the whole universe in that spaceship, but this is only their landing craft. They use the cruise ship to travel through space. While leaving the barn, they encounter Marlon's parents, who are departing from their house. When they find out that every house has a TV, they rush into Marlon's house immediately. Soon after, Luis attempts to tell his dad about the aliens, that they are nice and kind, not what his dad tells him. But when Luis discovers his dad will destroy the aliens when he finds them, he changes his mind and keeps it a secret. Armin warns Luis not to wake him up again, and not long after, Armin gets a phone call from the principal since he doesn't see Armin at the office. Luis picks up the phone instead and pretends to be Armin, rejecting the principal's request to take him to live with Miss Dacre. However, he immediately notices Luis's voice and will come and see Armin by himself. In Marlin's house, after Mog finds the massage mat TV channel, they hurry and order one immediately, as there are only 10 left. As they panic, they suddenly order 333 electric toilet brushes instead. Luckily, Luis shows up in time and successfully orders the last massage mat for them. Luis then asks to hide with them since he is having trouble with his principal. They are glad to have Luis with them, and Wabo assures him that if the principal starts to make trouble, they will obliterate him, although they don't even know how to do that. As soon as they notice Valentina, who is the cleaner of the house, show up, they quickly hide themselves from her. Soon, she is aware of their existence and ready to face them off. When they almost get caught, Nag and Mog suddenly transform into Marlin's parents by swallowing their hair, freeing them from Valentina's suspicion. Wabo then also turns into Marlin's dog after swallowing the feather. Valentina freaks out after finding out the dog can speak and immediately loses consciousness after seeing Wabo in his natural form. When Marlin comes out of his room and sees Valentina in this situation, he thinks she might already be dead. Luis is captured by Marlin and questioned about what he did to her, but Marlin is shocked to see that Valentina is gone, as she was hidden by Woba somewhere. Marlin is approached by Nag and Mog, who disguise themselves as his parents to get him back to his room and lock him up. As their massage mat has not arrived yet, they decide to have more fun on Earth. After Luis realizes that the principal is on the way to his house, he has an idea and asks the aliens to change his dad's house name tag with Marlin's house. He also asks Mog to disguise himself as his father and Woba and Nag as cleaners. Soon, the principal arrives with Miss Dacre. She is there to assess Armin's capabilities as a guardian for Luis and to see if Luis has an acceptable living environment. The principal says he has heard that Armin spends all of his day sleeping on the couch. Luis interrupts, telling him that Armin is now a completely different person. Armin also says he quit looking for the alien as he is no longer interested when Miss Dacre questions him about his obsession with intelligent life. Immediately, Miss Dacre becomes suspicious that someone else might be living there after she hears the music beat coming from the room above. Armin states it's just his alarm clock reminding Luis to do his homework. Nag and Wabo go to shut the music down right away and warn Marlin that if he makes a sound, Nag will blow him up like a nuclear bomb. While sleeping, Armin dreams of when he encounters the alien, which is different from the alien that Luis meets. It has many legs like a crab and looks savage. As Armin manages to escape, he rushes to tell his parents about it, but they don't take him seriously. After waking up from his nightmare, he realizes the alien has landed there. The principal then wants to see Luis's room, which makes Luis panic as he doesn't know where the bedroom of this house is. However, he accidentally leads them into Marlin's sister's room, and eventually the principal decides to end this case. Unfortunately, Armin declares to his neighbor that the alien has landed there when the principal leaves the house at the same time. Seeing this, Luis leads the aliens out of the house and escapes from the principal immediately. On their way, Luis encounters Jennifer, who is recording the story, but he runs off from her as he doesn't have time for the interview. After a long chase, they hide themselves at Walmart, thinking they lost the principal. Nag tells them to prepare to leave Earth. Luis, who is the principal's target, asks the aliens if he could go with them as well. Wabo is pleased to bring him along, but Nag doesn't think this is a good idea. If they show up to their cruise ship with people from Earth, their captain won't hesitate to yell at them. However, Nag decides to bring him with them and says, whatever happens, happens. Not long after, the principal catches up to them and they continue their escape. As they arrive at the barn, they hurry to get on the spaceship to get out of there, but their spaceship won't be able to fly because it has some problem, and Mog goes to fix it immediately. On the other side, they are recorded by Jennifer, who has followed them since the neighborhood, and Jennifer is shocked to see that aliens exist on Earth. However, the spaceship is reduced to pieces by Mog, and he doesn't know how to put it back. Nag suddenly bursts into anger and starts to smash Mog as they will be stuck on Earth forever. Yet Luis has an idea, and he remembers that his dad has all kinds of space gizmos at home, and there might be one that could signal their cruise ship to come pick them up. As they arrive at the home, Luis leads them into his dad's research room, and Mog begins to call out for help from his team. Mog asks Luis if there's any isolated place where their team can come to pick them up, and as Luis just had his trip to Dragon's Peak, he suggests they should go there, and that they need to get to the top of Dragon's Peak in 45 minutes from now. Later, Valentina approaches Armin to report about the aliens. However, Luis sneaks out behind them and attempts to leave in Marlin's parents' car, but Mog doesn't know how to drive, so they disguise themselves as Marlin's parents again and get Marlin to be their driver. After they leave, Marlin's parents soon arrive at their house, and they are mad at Marlin, thinking he is the one who replaced their house with Armin's name tag. Armin is confused, thinking Marlin's real parent is an alien disguise, and captures them to prove to everyone. Nonetheless, he realizes realizes they are not aliens when one of his neighbors informs him that Luis and Marlon made their way to Dragon's Peak with the aliens who disguised as Marlon's parent. Upon hearing this, the principal, Armin, and Marlon's parents immediately get a delivery guy who delivers a massage mat for the aliens to bring them to Dragon's Peak. Not long after, Miss Dacre, who is a driver, catches up to them and attempts to stop the car. But as there is another truck in front of them, Miss Dacre is forced to get out of the way and hits the stone. Marlon doesn't know what is going on right now and wants Luis's explanation, so Luis tells him the truth, as his parent who is with him now is just aliens disguise. Yet Marlon doesn't believe what he says until Jennifer shows up from the back of the car, which shocks all of them as they don't expect her to be there. But Jennifer's words don't convince Marlon to believe there are aliens either, so Luis lets the aliens turn back into who they are, freaking Marlon out immediately. When Luis is about to leave, Armin stops him in time and tells Luis he can't go with the aliens. But Luis questions him of why would he care now, as before Armin never paid any attention to him, and all Armin cares about is only his work. However, Armin begs Luis to give him a chance to be a better father, as Luis is all he has. Miss Dacre doesn't care about their sad moment, and suddenly attempts to capture Luis with Armin's frost gun, but she is stopped by the ice cream man, who reveals that she is an alien working for a crime lord from the planet Taunton. She sells tears from lonely children to her own kind, which supposedly cures baldness. He then introduces himself as Agent Stu of the Intergalactic Hero Squad, who just disguises as the ice cream man to be able to capture Miss Dacre. Not long after, Miss Dacre transforms into her true self, which has a body of a dragon and legs of a crab that is known as Tauntonian. Armin realizes Miss Dacre is the alien he encountered when he was young. Suddenly, everyone assembles to stop her, but they aren't able to. She then goes after Luis, but he manages to escape from her a bit when she stumbles, and the aliens then call out to Luis to hide in the bush. After Miss Dacre regains her consciousness, she continues to chase him again, yet realizes he is just Luis disguised by Mog. She is now messed around by the aliens and doesn't know which one is the real Luis. Soon, the actual Luis appears with his dad's frost gun and fires to freeze Miss Dacre when she attempts to attack him. After everything is fine, Luis forgives his dad for what he has done and informs the aliens that he changes his mind, which he is not going with them and staying with his dad instead. The aliens eventually receive their massage mat and say goodbye to their good friend Luis, then leave in their cruise ship. In the end, Armin gets a brand new bike for Luis, and they live happily ever after together. And this is it for the movie. Click on the middle to watch more videos like this.